Welcome back, my friends, to the Red Delta Project YouTube channel's Philosophy Friday, looking at ideas that can kind of frame this whole health and fitness thing into a little bit more of a healthy and maybe productive framework as far as our psychological state is concerned. And today I wanted to ask the simple question of, is having a somewhat fitness-based lifestyle, or the body that goes with it, a bit of a social and dating deterrent rather than something that actually can make you more attractive? Now, let me take you on a story way back in my youth. It was somewhat of an embarrassing thing to admit, but when I first started coaching and training people in gyms as a personal trainer, didn't have a whole lot of work, so I spent a lot of time actually wasting my afternoons away watching really bad daytime TV. And there was a show on years ago called The Fifth Wheel. It was one of these stupid, really bad kind of reality dating shows. And the premise of it was they have two gals, two guys, and they would go on a date, one pair up with each other, and then they'd switch and they'd go on a different date, and they would kind of get some chemistry flowing and everything. And then they would bring in the fifth wheel. And the fifth wheel was always supposed to be some gal or guy who was supposed to be like a 10, like really high level individual who would supposedly create some sort of like chaos and drama amongst all the girls and the guys and everything like that. And I watched like half a season of the stuff like that. And whenever they brought in a guy who was supposed to be that fifth wheel, it was oftentimes like a fitness model, the kind of dudes you'd see in like muscle magazines and Men's Health and stuff like that. And I swear, every single time they brought in some sort of like alpha looking dude who seemingly had the perfect body, the women always couldn't stand the guy. It was, if anything, it was a deterrent. They were like, oh God, I wouldn't date someone like that in a million years. And of course, back then I was all like, yeah, okay, whatever, that's TV and drama and stuff. But even now, like, I've got a fairly healthy body that's a little bit more than average. And believe me, as you get older, the more fit you are, the more of an asset or more you stand out. Like, I'm almost 46 now. And if you can make it to middle age and have even a reasonably somewhat healthy looking body, that's way different than having six-pack abs when you're 20. And over the past couple of years, I've gotten much more kind of out of my social shell, dating a heck of a lot more, just going out more, meeting new people and stuff like that. And what I've noticed is that the more people I meet, especially women I'm trying to potentially date or even just spend time with as friends, like, I've got to overcome these negative stigmas almost, that people are like, oh, okay, great, you're a trainer, you're into fitness. Oh God, bet you're a lot of fun at parties. And it almost feels like I need to come at this with like, hi, yes, my name is Matt Schifferly. I'm into health and fitness. Yes, I still drink alcohol. No, I'm not going to judge you on what you eat at dinner. No, I don't care if you have a perfect body. Yes, I do actually have a life outside the gym. Yes, I don't have a perfect diet. Yes, I have a life outside it. Like, I feel like I need a business card and hand that to people in order to convince people that no, I don't have this huge, like, stuck up, hoity-toity, like, closed off mindset when it comes to fitness. And I know on social media, we get this perspective of like, oh, look at these people with these perfect bodies. I bet that's going to get me so much more positive attention. And yeah, I've gotten some of that, but it's usually been the exception, if anything. If it's usually more of, I've got to convince people that just because I'm into health and fitness, that I can actually be someone you want to be with. And sometimes it goes the other way around too, where people will say, well, okay, if you're into fitness and you've got this fairly decent looking body, well, then I'm all self-conscious. And that's not at all the way I dated the rainbow. If anything, I prefer figures, female figures, who are a little bit on the heavier side of things. I think this pressure out in our fitness culture of like, fitness is definitely the ideal, and having the perfect body is the ideal, and the ultimate, clean eating, healthy, super workout driven kind of, is it really the ideal in real life? Or is it something that's more of an ideal for social media? Another example, like, I was talking with a friend of mine, and he was his friend of a friend was a recruiter for like the Marines or boot camps and military and stuff. And he's like, dude, we get these guys all the time. They've got these perfect, awesome bodies. They're etched and they're chiseled and they look amazing and stuff. Guys like that, they're like a really cool Ferrari. He's like, and because they look like that, they can't do jack squat when it comes to the actual training we need to put them in, because they need the perfect fuel and the perfect road conditions and the perfect scenario. And if it's not perfect, they just crumble. He's like, we don't want guys like that in the military. We want guys who are like the classic old school Toyota pickup trucks. Dirty, muddy, dented, little bit of rust on the fenders and stuff, and they just keep running and get the job done. And I feel like we have too much of an emphasis of the ideal health and fitness promoted by social media is too perfect. Like, we need some dents in our fenders, in other words. We need to show the world that we don't want to be perfect. That perfect and optimization and stuff is actually, unless you honestly truly want that for yourself, not what the world wants from you. Like, the world wants us to be perfect. No, it doesn't. Perfection in our body and our lifestyles and stuff, in my experience, is, if anything, is unattractive versus being able to have a little bit more of those flaws, the classic Japanese term of wabi-sabi. The beauty is in the imperfections of the design of things. And I'm just kind of bringing about these perspectives that I wanted to share with you today. I'd love to know your comments and stuff down below in the comments, that this whole perfectionism that we seem to have as ideal really isn't the ideal, and that you should live your true best self, the strengths that you embrace, and living life in the best way that's for your quality of life. And that's going to attract the right people to you, rather than going after some ideal that you think people are looking for, because I really honestly don't think they're really looking for that. Thoughts down below. Be fit, live free.